Right now, 205 million Americans are in the path of what could be the most destructive winter storm in over a decade. If you live anywhere between Texas and Maine, the next 72 hours will change everything. Power could go out for days, roads will become death traps, and temperatures will drop so low that frostbite takes just 5 minutes. This is not a drill. 22 states have declared emergencies. The president has approved emergency declarations for 12 states. And here is what terrifies me most. Over 50,000 people in Louisiana are already sitting in the dark with no power, and this storm has barely started. But here is the thing nobody else is telling you. You still have time to prepare if you act right now. And if you stay with me for the next few minutes, I am going to tell you the exact hour this storm hits your city, how much ice or snow you will get, and most importantly, when the power is most likely to fail in your area. At the 30-second mark, I am going to reveal the one city that could see over 2 feet of snow. And it is not where you think. Let me be crystal clear about what we are dealing with. This is not your typical winter storm. The National Weather Service is using words like catastrophic impacts and historic. Hurricane Hunter planes, the same aircraft that fly into hurricanes, were sent into this system to gather data because it is that massive. This storm stretches over 2,000 miles from the Mexican border to the Canadian border. Here is your first shocking number. 55% of everyone living in the continental United States is under a weather alert right now. That is 190 million people. To put that in perspective, that is more people than live in France, Germany, and the United Kingdom combined. And here is the promise I am making to you. By minute 5 of this video, you will know the exact timeline for your city. When does it start? When does it peak? When does it end? I'm going to cover over 70 cities across America, and I need you to drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from so I can prioritize your area. Let me show you what is happening right at this moment. In Oklahoma City, snow is falling heavily. Dallas is getting pounded. Nashville is experiencing intense snowfall that is not letting up. And in San Antonio, a city that rarely sees winter weather, freezing precipitation is coming down. But here is the terrifying part. What is falling now is just the appetizer. The main course is coming tonight and tomorrow, and it is not snow that has meteorologists losing sleep. It is ice. Ice accumulation of just 1/10 of an inch makes roads completely impassable. At 1/4 inch, tree branches start snapping. At 1/2 an inch, power lines begin failing. Now let me tell you what we are forecasting for the hardest hit areas. 3/4 of an inch to 1 1/4 inches of ice. Some spots could see even more. To help you understand how catastrophic this is, let me paint you a picture. Imagine taking a garden hose and spraying water on a tree while temperatures are below freezing. Now imagine doing that continuously for 12 hours. That is what is about to happen across a massive section of the South. Every surface, every power line, every tree branch will be coated in ice so thick and so heavy that the infrastructure simply cannot support the weight. Here is a data point that should alarm you. Over 49,000 customers in Texas are already without power, and the worst has not even arrived yet. Louisiana has over 50,000 outages, and these numbers are about to explode. Now let me get to the city-by-city breakdown because this is what you came here for. I am going to start in the south and work my way north and east. Pay close attention because the timing is everything. Dallas, Texas. You are already in it. Snow is falling right now. But here is what is coming. Tonight between 8 p.m. and midnight, you transition from snow to freezing rain. This freezing rain continues through Sunday morning. Total ice accumulation, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Additional snow on top of what you already have, 2 to 4 inches. Power outage risk extremely high. If you have not charged every device, filled your bathtub with water, and gathered flashlights, do it in the next 2 hours. San Antonio, Texas. Freezing precipitation begins by 9 p.m. tonight. Your window is predominantly freezing rain with some sleet mixed in. This continues until Sunday afternoon around 3 p.m. Ice accumulation, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. This is enough to cause significant power outages. Roads will be impassable. Do not attempt to drive. Austin, Texas. Your timeline is similar to San Antonio. Freezing rain begins around 8 p.m. tonight and continues through Sunday afternoon. Ice accumulation, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. The hill country west of Austin could see slightly higher amounts. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Heavy snow is happening right now and continues through tonight. By 8 p.m. tonight, you are all snow, no mixing. This is good news because snow, while disruptive, does not bring down power lines like ice does. Additional snowfall from now through Sunday morning, 6 to 8 inches. You already have 3 to 6 inches on the ground. Your total storm snowfall, 10 to 14 inches. This is a crippling amount for Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Your forecast mirrors Oklahoma City. All snow, heavy at times. Additional accumulation, 6 to 9 inches on top of what you have received. Total storm snow, 11 to 15 inches. Shreveport, Louisiana. This is ground zero for the ice storm. Freezing rain begins around 7 p.m. tonight and does not stop until Sunday afternoon. I am talking about 15 to 18 hours of continuous freezing rain. Ice accumulation, 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch. Some areas could exceed 1 inch. This is catastrophic. Power outages will be widespread and prolonged. We are talking days without electricity. If you are in Shreveport, Monroe, or Bossier City, you need to finalize all preparations immediately. Monroe, Louisiana. Same story as Shreveport. This is the bullseye for catastrophic ice. 3/4 to 1 and 1/4 inches of ice. Expect power to fail and not return for multiple days. Jackson, Mississippi. Freezing rain begins by 9 p.m. tonight. Continues through Sunday morning around 10 a.m. Ice accumulation, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Widespread power outages expected. Travel will be impossible. Tupelo, Mississippi. You are in the worst zone. Ice accumulation, 3/4 to 1 inch. Freezing rain begins around 10 p.m. tonight and continues relentlessly through Sunday midday. Every forecaster is watching Tupelo with extreme concern. Memphis, Tennessee. Here is where it gets complicated. You start with snow. Heavy snow falls through tonight, accumulating 3 to 5 inches. Then, around midnight, you transition to freezing rain. This freezing rain continues through Sunday morning. Ice accumulation, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. The combination of snow followed by ice creates a particularly dangerous situation. Power outage risk, very high. Nashville, Tennessee. Heavy snow is falling right now. You have already accumulated 2 to 4 inches in many areas. Here is the good news and bad news. There is a zone of warmer air aloft that might prevent the worst ice accumulation in downtown Nashville. You will likely transition to sleet and then rain by Sunday morning. However, the rain falling on existing snow creates its own problems. Areas south and west of Nashville toward Columbia and Lawrenceburg will see significant ice, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Clarksville, Tennessee. You are on the northern edge of the worst ice. Expect 1/2 inch of ice accumulation after snow ends. Freezing rain begins around 2 a.m. Sunday and continues through Sunday afternoon. Knoxville, Tennessee. That warm air layer I mentioned helps you avoid the worst ice. You get heavy snow tonight, accumulating 4 to 6 inches, then transition to plain rain by Sunday morning. This rain washes away some snow, but creates flooding concerns. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Snow continues through tonight, adding 4 to 6 inches. Brief period of sleet Sunday morning. Ice accumulation, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Not as bad as areas to your south, but still significant. Louisville, Kentucky. Heavy snow tonight and Sunday morning. This is predominantly a snow event for you, 8 to 12 inches total. Brief mixing possible Sunday afternoon, but you likely stay mostly snow. Lexington, Kentucky. Here is where the forecast shifted. Yesterday, some models showed 15 inches of snow for Lexington. We said 7 inches. Why? Because we anticipated that warm air layer would be more expansive. And we were right. You start with heavy snow tonight, accumulating 5 to 7 inches, then transition to sleet Sunday morning. This cuts your snow totals but creates dangerous travel. Cincinnati, Ohio. You hit the jackpot for snow lovers. Heavy snow Saturday night through Sunday, 12 to 14 inches, predominantly all snow. This is a paralyzing snowfall for Cincinnati. Nothing moves Sunday. Columbus, Ohio, similar to Cincinnati. Heavy snow begins around midnight tonight, continues through Sunday evening. Total accumulation, 11 to 13 inches. Travel will be impossible. Indianapolis, Indiana, all snow, heavy at times, 10 to 12 inches. Peak snowfall rates. Sunday morning could reach 2 to 3 inches per hour. St. Louis, Missouri. Snow begins early Saturday evening, heavy snow overnight, and Sunday morning 8 to 10 inches total. Some models show up to 12 inches. This is significant for St. Louis. Kansas City, Missouri. Heavy snow Saturday evening through Sunday morning, 7 to 9 inches. All snow, no mixing. Springfield, Missouri. All snow, 8 to 10 inches. Little Rock, Arkansas. This is concerning. You start with snow accumulating 2 to 4 inches, then transition to freezing rain Saturday night. Ice accumulation, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Widespread power outages expected. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Heavy snow begins Sunday morning around 3 a.m. Peak intensity Sunday afternoon. Total accumulation 12 to 14 inches. Some models showing up to 16 inches. This is a major snow event for Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Ohio. All snow. Begins Sunday morning. Heavy at times, 10 to 12 inches. Detroit, Michigan. Heavy snow Sunday, 9 to 11 inches. Chicago, Illinois. You catch the northwestern edge, 6 to 8 inches Sunday. Now let me move to the East Coast where timing is absolutely critical. Washington, D.C. Snow begins around 11 p.m. tonight. By 6 a.m. Sunday, you are in heavy snow. Here's the critical part. You accumulate 5 to 8 inches of snow, then around 11 a.m. Sunday, you transition to sleet and freezing rain. This creates an absolute nightmare scenario. You have several inches of snow on the roads, people are trying to travel, then it starts sleeting and raining while temperatures remain below freezing. The roads become skating rinks. Ice accumulation on top of snow, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Travel. Sunday afternoon and Monday, impossible. Do not even think about it. Baltimore, Maryland. Your timeline mirrors D.C. Snow begins late tonight, heavy Sunday morning, 5 to 8 inches, then transition to sleet and freezing rain Sunday afternoon. Ice accumulation 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Snow begins around midnight, heavy snow Sunday morning. Here is your question. Do you stay all snow or mix? Latest models suggest you accumulate 7 to 9 inches, then brief sleet mixing Sunday afternoon. But you likely stay predominantly snow. New York City, snow begins 6 a.m. Sunday. This is critical timing. Your Sunday morning is heavy snow. Peak snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour are possible during Sunday afternoon. Total accumulation 9 to 11 inches. There is a slight chance you mix with sleet Sunday evening, but I am increasingly confident you stay all snow. This is a major winter storm for New York City. Here is the number I promised you at the beginning. Boston, Massachusetts. You are the jackpot winner. Heavy snow begins Sunday morning and does not stop until Monday afternoon. A deformation band, which is meteorologists speak for an intense narrow zone of extremely heavy snow, sets up over Boston. Snowfall rates of 3 to 4 inches per hour are possible. Total accumulation 16 to 20 inches. Some models show over 2 feet. This is a historic snowfall for Boston. Everything shuts down Monday. Albany, New York. Heavy snow Sunday, potential for 16 to 19 inches. The entire state of New York could end up with over a foot of snow. Portland, Maine, all snow. Begins Sunday morning, continues through Monday, 14 to 18 inches. Hartford, Connecticut, all snow, 12 to 15 inches. Providence, Rhode Island, all snow, 13 to 16 inches. Richmond, Virginia, snow begins around 10 p.m. tonight. Heavy snow Sunday morning, accumulating 5 to 7 inches, then transition to freezing rain Sunday afternoon. Ice accumulation, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Monday morning is particularly dangerous as ice-covered roads remain frozen. Charleston, West Virginia. Snow begins Sunday morning, 8 to 10 inches. Charlotte, North Carolina. Here is a tricky forecast. You start with snow Saturday night, accumulating 1 to 3 inches, then transition to freezing rain Sunday. Ice accumulation, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Power outages expected. Raleigh, North Carolina. Similar to Charlotte, snow transitions to freezing rain. Ice accumulation, 3/8 to 1/2 inch. Greenville, South Carolina, significant ice, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Here is the data point that should terrify you. The Waffle House in Greenville is closed. Waffle House never closes. They stay open during hurricanes. When Waffle House closes, you know it is catastrophically bad. Atlanta, Georgia. You dodge the worst. Some snow possible north of the city Saturday night, but downtown Atlanta sees mainly rain. Sunday as warmer air winds. Columbia, South Carolina. Ice accumulation 1/2 to 5/8 of an inch. Expect prolonged power outages. Norfolk, Virginia. Snow begins late tonight, 4 to 6 inches, then transition to sleet and freezing rain Sunday. Buffalo, New York. Lake effect snow adds to the storm snow. Total accumulation 10 to 14 inches. Syracuse, New York. Heavy snow Sunday, 11 to 14 inches. Scranton, Pennsylvania. All snow, 10 to 12 inches. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Snow transitions to sleet, 7 to 9 inches of snow, then ice accumulation 1/4 inch. Now here is what happens after the storm, and this is why meteorologists are so concerned. That Arctic high pressure that created this storm does not leave. It settles over the southeast and brings record cold temperatures. Memphis could drop to 0 degrees. Nashville could see single digits for multiple days. Jackson, Mississippi could see temperatures in the low teens for 48 hours straight. Shreveport could be in the teens for days. Now imagine you are without power because 3/4 of an inch of ice snapped your power lines, and it is 8 degrees outside, and you have no heat. This is life-threatening. This is why we have been sounding the alarm. This is why preparation is not optional. If you have elderly neighbors, check on them. If you have pets, bring them inside. If you do not have an alternative heat source that does not require electricity, locate the nearest warming shelter right now and know how to get there. Here is another number that should shock you. Over 4,000 flights have been canceled for today. Over 9,000 flights scheduled for Sunday are already canceled. If you are trying to travel, do not. The airports cannot keep up. Federal offices in Washington, D.C. are closed Monday. The Senate postponed votes. Schools across 17 states are closed Monday and possibly Tuesday. Let me talk about the severe weather component because this is bizarre. While half the country deals with snow and ice, the other half has tornadoes. There is a slight risk of severe weather across Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle Sunday. We are talking about possible supercell thunderstorms that can produce tornadoes while it is snowing 300 miles to the north. This is highly unusual. Mobile, Alabama. Severe thunderstorms possible. Sunday afternoon. Tornado risk 5%. This is significant. Tallahassee, Florida. Severe weather possible Sunday. Heavy rain and thunderstorms. Pensacola, Florida. Same severe weather threat. Jacksonville, Florida. Heavy rain and thunderstorms. Sunday, severe weather possible. So if you live in Florida and you have been watching the snow up north and laughing, you need to pay attention too. Check your weather alerts. Have a way to receive tornado warnings. Now let me give you the extended outlook because this cold is not going anywhere fast. The southeast stays significantly below average for the next 6 to 10 days. Florida might as well be Ohio. Temperatures across the southeast will feel like the northern tier of the country normally feels in January. And here is the teaser I promised. There is another storm signal showing up in the models for late next week. I am not going to talk about it in detail until we are more than halfway done with this current storm. But if that signal holds, we could be doing this all over again in 7 to 8 days. Here is your action plan right now. If you have not already done these things, do them immediately. Number 1. Charge every electronic device you own. Phones, tablets, laptops, battery banks, everything. Number 2, fill your bathtub with water. If power goes out, water treatment plants can fail. You need water for flushing toilets and washing. Number 3, gather all flashlights, candles, matches, and batteries in one place. Number 4, if you have a generator, test it right now. Make sure it works. Make sure you have fuel. Never run a generator indoors. Carbon monoxide kills. Number 5, move your car away from trees. Ice-laden branches will fall. They will total your car. Number 6, bring pets inside. Do not leave animals outside in this cold. Frostbite happens in 5 to 10 minutes. Number 7, check on elderly neighbors. Make sure they have heat, food, water, and medications. Number 8, know where your nearest warming shelter is located. If you lose power and have no alternative heat, you cannot stay in a house that is dropping to 40 degrees inside while it is 0 outside. Number 9, do not travel. I cannot stress this enough. Do not get on the roads. Every emergency manager across the affected area is begging people to stay home. Number 10, keep your phone charged and keep weather alerts turned on. Let me address the question everyone asks. Why is this storm so bad? We get winter storms every year. What makes this one different? 3 factors: size, ice, and cold. Size. This storm affects 2/3 of the entire country, over 200 million people. The geographic scope is enormous. Ice. The ice accumulation in the worst-hit areas is catastrophic. We are not talking about a glaze of ice. We are talking about 3/4 of an inch to over 1 inch. That is enough weight to snap massive tree limbs and pull down power lines. Cold. The Arctic air behind this storm is historic. Record cold is possible in dozens of cities, and that cold lingers. It does not warm up quickly, so the ice stays. The snow stays. Roads remain impassable for days. Here is the reality. We are looking at the largest winter storm in at least 5 years. Some meteorologists are saying it could be the worst since the Super Bowl snowstorm years ago, or even the massive ice storm that crippled the South back in the early 2000s. I want you to drop a comment right now. Tell me where you are watching from. Tell me if you are prepared. Tell me what you are seeing outside your window. I am reading every single comment, and I will reply with specific information for your area if you need it. The storm is here. For those of you from Texas to Tennessee, you are in it right now. For those of you from Ohio to Maine, your window to prepare is closing rapidly. You have hours, not days. Do not panic. Be prepared. Panic leads to poor decisions. Preparation leads to safety. One more thing before we wrap up. I mentioned that teaser about another possible storm late next week. If you want to stay ahead of this, if you want to know what is coming next, make sure you are subscribed, because the moment we have enough confidence in that next system, I am breaking it down for you in the same detail I just gave you here. This is not over. Winter has locked in across a huge portion of the country. Florida is experiencing temperatures you would normally see in the Midwest. The cold is here to stay for at least the next week to 10 days. Stay safe, stay warm, check on your neighbors, do not travel, and I will see you in the next update with the latest on how this storm is evolving and what comes after it. Comment below where you are watching from.